Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plapper. Platypus is the name. And today I'm going to show you how I turned this game into easy mode, at least for all the content that I've done so far. Also, Sorrow can fly. It has been confirmed. Now, this isn't necessarily going to work for online PvP, because that's going to be like a meta that's shifting. But so far, for the single player content, this has been OP, I would say. And that is getting the ultimate tank. So we're going to go over the setup, and then I'm going to show you what he could do, basically. So where I am talking about maybe the greatest tank of the game, Metal Slime. Now, I do have a Liquid Metal Slime, but one thing I think is kind of important to note is that Metal Slime and Liquid Metal Slime really aren't that different on their stats. Right, like this guy has 5 defense, 5 agility, and this guy has 5 defense, 5 agility, 1 HP, 1 HP. So they're almost the same in stats. And in fact, I would say that Metal Slime is likely a little bit better because Metal Slime gets the strong starter and ace evader, which I think are both better than the Rando Excel and Ultra Cafety Banger. However, I'm using a Liquid Metal Slime because I'm trying to get to the King Metal Slime, which I think is still potentially not necessarily way better or anything like that than Metal Slime. I think so. As long as you get Metal Slime, I think you can do it. Now, how do you get Metal Slime? He is scoutable. He does have some areas that you can get him. However, I've seen a couple of them, right? Circle of Conquest, middle echelon. You could find him and then scout him pretty easily. He's actually, honestly, I mean, I scouted my second one. He really wasn't that hard to scout. I got him on my very first attempt at like a 70%. So as long as you got decent stats, you should be able to get him. However, you will also get one once you get to 10 mini medals. 10 mini medals is pretty darn low. You guys can find them just running around. In fact, if you're in Rose Hill, in the Rose Hill Tower, in Rose Hill, it matters which zone you're in. You want to be in the starting zone. You can come back here and there'll actually be a mini medal right here by examining this wall. Just for one, but I would just look up the Game 8 guide, and maybe I'll even post that in the description. You can find 10 mini medals, no problem, to get yourself a Metal Slime. Now, why is this guy so good? Inherently, their skills, the spells that they learn aren't very good, so you're going to want to synthesize something a little bit better here. So I'm using Barricade, but really the idea is selflessness. You want this ability. There's multiple talent sets that have this. I chose to go with Barricade for no other reason than I had a Barricade scroll and I didn't want to go farm a monster to get it. I just wanted selflessness on this guy. Receive all in this is not a great description. It's an okay description, but it doesn't really express how all encompassing it is. Receives all incoming attacks in place of allies for 1 round, but suffers greater damage in doing so. So you take all the damage, but you take greater damage, right? So it's like the idea is you use this and then a lot of times units will die. However, this is a Metal Slime, baby. Metal Slime does not die. So when you use this, selflessness is so much better than what it describes here. Yes, it takes all the attacks. But in there's other games that I've used where it's like, yeah, it'll take attacks, but all the single target attacks. AoE will still hit everybody. They take all the AoE. If I was going to hit all 4 people, it hits him 4 times instead. It also blocks anything that is a non-damage dealing ability that's targeting your team, such as trying to do an AoE sleep, an AoE disable spells, AoE stun, AoE, anything that's trying to target your guys will instead target this unit. So it is absolutely incredible, just keeps everyone safe for as long as this unit is alive. And now, why are Metal Slimes better than the other one? Just in case you are not aware, Metal Slimes have the Metal Skin trait. All 3 of them, or the 3 that I'm aware of, Metal Slime, Liquid Metal, and King Metal, have Metal Skin. Reduces damage received by 1/3, but doubles the MP consumption of skills and abilities. We don't really care about the double MP thing, but reducing damage received by 1/3 is really, really good. So, I mean, but that is on top of them having some of the craziest defensive stats, right? 441 defense on this unit. I mean, my next closest defense is 174. So it says reduces it by 1/3, but I think it reduces it to 1/3. I could be wrong. So it's either a 33 or a 66% damage reduction. But regardless, the defense is insanely high, right? Super high defense and also super high agility, which is super important. They outspeed everything, which selflessness is only good if you actually outspeed the enemy. If you're not outspeeding them and then they all attack and then you selflessness at the end of the round, it doesn't do anything. So they go first, they selfless, they protect your whole team. They don't die, most importantly, because they have the metal skin trait. And honestly, if you have the metal slime and he could dodge attacks as well, then that's even better. Now, for another talent here, you can kind of do, you know, PYF, you know, pick your favorite. I think it's going to be meta dependent, but because the way the single player content has been working, where I've gone up against random enemies with the ability to instant kill units, and this will target him I chose Death Defiler, right? Resist instant kill attacks. Is it immune or just super resistant? Greatly increases resistance to instant death attacks. The reason I have this is because if they use selfless and they do an AoE like whack style attack, it's going to target him 4 times and he's super likely to go down. So I like having this. However, because like in a PvP-ish setting, I think that's unlikely to happen. You might want something like a resist getting stunned, resist getting slept, bedazzled, other kinds of more debilitating effects. Especially if they're trying to do an AoE stun and they have like an ultra good stunner and then you have an ultra resistance to stun, you can basically shut down their kind of team comp idea. So I think that could be better here. But so this not only gives you HP, which is good because these have notoriously low HP. They might have high defense, but they still take some damage. It also makes you almost immune, highly resistant to instant death attacks, and every time this character does an action, they're automatically going to heal themselves. And guess what? It's only for like 10 HP or something like that. But they only have, like mine only has 117 HP. And that's with me throwing items into them too and having equipment to boost it. Like this guy being at 50 HP or less. I mean, they're healing most of their HP every single action. Now for the third one, this is one that I haven't really decided what I want to do yet. I have Storm Chaser because I think that's what the Liquid Metal Slime starts with and I wanted to unlock it. But this unit is not about the attacks, so I'm not going to level this up, right? This unit is all about selflessness and staying alive. So I'm probably going to add another passive one here that just gives them more HP, maybe defense booster 4, just to go way over the top of the late game stuff. That feels slightly less necessary because as your defense goes way up, you're already staying alive. And the issue is that they'll CC him and then they'll be able to bypass his HP. And then if he's not defending everyone, he doesn't really do anything. So I think a second passive here is good. But very, very important thing you want to do here. You want to go to the tactics on Liquid Metal Slime. You want to have them support your allies, right? Uses skills that strengthens allies or removes status effects. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the one that's going to emphasize selflessness because it's a skill. It doesn't strengthen allies or remove status ailments, but Show No Mercy makes them want to do attack. You're not trying to weaken the enemy at all. Focus on healing is definitely not it, and don't use magic. That means don't use MP, so that's not it. So this is the only one that I think that is kind of similar. Even if it doesn't cause them to use those abilities more directly, it causes them to use all his other abilities he has access to less, if that makes sense. So it becomes more likely. So then you also want to go into the set instructions. And for the Liquid Metal Slime, I've turned off several abilities, right? Even Kabuff, which is good. It doesn't matter because he's the one that's defending. That's what he wants to do every round because it only lasts for a round. Insulate is still good, but we're not using it. Knuckle Sandwich, turn it off. Now, the reason I have these other ones here, Mist Me, it's okay. I was trying to decide between Mist Me and Intense Defense. Intense Defense lasts the entire round and can only be used once per battle. I can't imagine needing to do it multiple times. Mist Me, it negates all damage one time, which just seems less good overall for a unit that's designed to take a lot of hits, right? Now, Critical Meltdown is because I believe crits can bypass your defense, and so you can get one shot by crits. If there's an enemy that is like specifically going to try to super crit, like there you could just know that this is a unit that typically runs like Hatchet Man or something that is likely to crit, then I would do something like Critical Meltdown them first so they can't crit, and then you go into the selflessness. So I have this here just so when they're auto fighting, if the AI knows that something's going to crit, that maybe they can prevent it. But you want to put selflessness up on the stats here. So this is what we're going to do now. I already did the fight because I wanted to I wanted to basically not lose. I wanted to make sure I would win before I did it. It'd be really annoying to do a fucking fight and then I just lose, right? So let me pull up the thing here. Let's pull up the games to make videos with folder. And then let me find it. Is it this one? Nope, that's with me. That's as my face on it. I gotta find the one that I used here. There we go. Okay, so let's come here. All right, let's go ahead and would I like to enter? Yes, I would. Okay, so this is going to be a great example. I know you can't see it yet. Just give me a second. There we go. I feel like these fights are going to be a great example of why this is so good. And why this is currently, sorry, just so I can prove it, we're on currently going to the same team, right? I think they might have a few less levels than they do currently live, but this is going to be the Category A. Category S is not currently available to me. I would try to push that if I could, but I'm not far enough into the game to get to Category S. So this is currently the highest category in the main arena that I could do. And I feel like these are the hardest fights that I could do right now, so that's why I'm using this as a showcase. But also, like, I have one Category A monster who's very unoptimized, but for the most part, my monsters aren't at this level yet, right? So this is, I think this actually gets progressively more impressive. The first fight, the unit doesn't look that good, but it's still good. Second fight, he looks pretty good, and the third fight, he looks fucking insane. So that's why we're gonna do all three of these. So here in the very first fight, right, you just hit fight, they do it. He does his selflessness, and then the very first enemy does a sultry dance. Now that's kind of lame because it stuns, right? And he hits with all 4 stuns, which doesn't matter. But that does prevent the rest of my team from getting stunned. So even though their opener was to stun my whole team, it actually didn't. It only stunned 1 unit. Now, it does mean the Metal Slime doesn't prevent any of the damage because after he gets stunned, he no longer has the selflessness thing active. And then, but now the rest of my units are cleaning up, right? So this fight is more of a highlight of my other units than the Metal Slime specifically, right? But I do think that this guy is pretty fucking nuts. And still, getting them unstunned is awesome. The second fight, though, that's when we're doing good. This is a nasty first fight. They open with trying to stun everyone. Then they try to get everyone's to stop casting spells. And 2 of the units have last legs, so they don't die when you deal enough damage to kill them. Very powerful ability. But overall, it wasn't insane. We do more AoE, and their opener was kind of nullified, right? So that's good. So the second fight here, this one is kind of the mid. It's kind of reverse. Bad, medium, good. And you would think it would be the opposite because the fights are getting harder, but their team comps are just less good against my stuff here. So you can see here, he does selflessness, and then these guys attack him, right? So let's actually see what he does, right? Hit him for 19, hit him for 24. So he took some damage, but now my units are free to AoE, right? He even got his tactical trooper thing off. This guy doesn't do anything. He just buffs himself. Sky Splitter, trying to hit everybody. Boom. How about you hit my Metal Slime for 0 damage? And then we just keep doing our AoE, right? I have Kazapple. I got Pearly Gates. I don't even like Pearly Gates. It seems kind of weak, honestly. So selflessness, and then check this out, right? You even healed yourself a little bit. Sweet Breath, right? Does put him to sleep, so the selflessness is turned off. That's why, again, he looks only medium. I have Death Defiler. Again, I think getting resistant to stun could be better. But at this point, we've done so much damage that I don't think we're not in danger of losing here, right? We got a full free round in the beginning of the game, basically, of that fight. And now this third one, oh boy. This is exactly why this guy is so good. I mean, I could put another damage dealer here or something, but there's no way the team would perform as well, especially as consistently when RNG goes against you. Now, it looks kind of rough in the beginning, but this is so good. So he starts, guess what he does? Boom, selflessness. Then attack. How about 1 damage? Okay, you attack. You attack for 0 damage. You kaboom. Now, he has bad kaboom resist, right? So it almost kills him, which is actually a lot. You got to keep in mind the resistances here, which is one reason why you might want to make him large. But I don't like the double turns. But you could then kabuff and do it. It would make him an even more insane tank. So, turn 2, check this out. Selflessness again, you get a little bit of a heal. Even if Kaboom would kill him this turn, it wouldn't matter, right? Because we would have enough damage. Kaziz, how about 0 damage 4 times? 0 damage 4 times. Frizzle, spells prevented, but it only targets him because he still has selflessness up. That is so big. And then he hits for 0. And then we just keep hitting again, right? We took 0 damage that turn. And we made sure all of our other allies didn't take any status effects. Like, absolutely nuts. And silence also doesn't prevent you from using that ability, because silent, that's not a spell, it's a skill. And there we go. That is Cup A. That's exactly why I think that unit is so strong. I almost stopped the recording here when I wanted to turn that off instead. Oh no, my porn. Just kidding. Let's go ahead and turn that off. There we go. So I highly recommend you get yourself a metal slime. Get those 10 mini metals. Go look at the guide. Find 10 of them. Get them on your team. And then remember, you could synthesize these units without losing them. You can make them basically turn into what they already are, right? So that's what I've been doing. If you look at this heritage, right, it's always going to be, it's a metal slime with a different unit, and then 2 metal slimes to make this guy. But like, if I fuse this guy again, he will be a, I'll keep him a liquid metal slime. The next time I'll probably fuse this guy is to be a liquid metal king slime, just because he's good enough. He's basically built. But if we look here, he's weak to stun, weak to sleep. He actually doesn't have a, where's wind, earth, explosions. This actually says he absorbs explosions. That makes no sense. He does not absorb explosions, because boom just happened, right? Unless boom is like a different element, but I think it is count as explosion damage. But maybe it's because the other allies aren't immune to it. Like maybe it calculates him. Sorry, who was in my party? Maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It says that he absorbs explosions, which he fucking doesn't. But maybe it did mess up their AI a little bit. Either way, guys, that's the kind of the guide for this video. The synthesis guide is pretty much the same, right? Again, you don't need the liquid metal. You just need the regular one. And then you got pretty much the best tank of the game, and you're likely going to trivialize everything. Then you just can go all in on damage. You don't need to worry about your overkilling machine being able to survive hits, because he could just use AoE, fuck them all up. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground, right? Like, he could just go crazy sicko mode, which mine is, right? Attack booster 4, 577 attack. He's been an all-star. And same, my Zoma, sorry, not my Zoma, my Lump Wizard has a Dragon Lord / Lump Wizard, has 650 wisdom. Badass. And he doesn't even have any good abilities, but that's not what this video is about. That's all. Much love for Platypuses per Ploutopus. Let me know if you found any other super insane early game I mean, this is mid game, but I think this is an early game monster you can get very easily. Although training it to this level might be a little bit harder in the early game. But yeah, I recommend you try this out. Let me know how it goes. Peace out. I'm rambling. Bye.